My family came to the Heber Valley in the late 1800s. My great-great-grandfather immigrated from Switzerland. And then my great-grandfather, when he came of age, he bought the dairy in 1929. It wasn't a dairy farm back then, it was actually a beef ranch. Created a dairy farm here in 1929, and it's been in the family ever since. This view is what makes Midway, Midway, and Heber Valley, Heber Valley. In today's world, less than 2% of the population in America today is a farmer or rancher. What that means is most people my generation have zero connection of any kind. That's different than any other previous generation. Sharing the heritage of dairy farming is something that we're really passionate about. As a company, our mission statement is to help others experience the difference of the farmer's touch. We want everybody to get a glimpse of agriculture. I think the first time we heard about conservation easements was when Wasatch County was looking at putting in a bond to be able to help support those conservation easements. And we're pretty committed being here. We don't want to go anywhere. What better opportunity for us to be able to pull some of the value out of our ground that we could use to further our business and be able to be viable here in Midway versus having to sell out and leave like a lot of farmers are having to do nowadays. We're operating on 125 acres. 88 of those acres are in conservation easement. This land is primarily used for hay and grazing. You can see the windrows, we've just cut it. We're getting it dried out so we're ready to bale it. And then we're going to be grazing cows down there into the fall time. So it allows us a hay source and a pasture source for our cows. We are a fully functional dairy farm, so we're milking cows here every day. These are some of our milking robots. The vast majority of it is converted into cheese that we're then able to share with our community. This is one of my favorite areas on the farm. This is our river bottoms. This is all under the conservation easement. Our border goes that white fence back there all the way to the river, which cuts along that boundary, and then we've got another border with another pasture up there. We're 4 generations deep here, and we didn't want to lose that. The most important thing we did was we got in contact with Wendy Fisher at Utah Open Lands. In all reality, she did 95% of the work. There was very little that we actually had to do other than show up to a meeting here or there. The community was a big support, and I think they showed that when they stepped forward and put up a bond at the county and the city level. One of the first things my great-grandma did was plant a few trees. So these big willows, these big giant massive willows were planted that first year they came to the dairy in 1929. Fun to see these big massive trees kind of leave a legacy of that. We want to be here so that future generations that live here in our community can enjoy that dairy heritage somewhere, because we don't want that to be lost. We saw the conservation easement as a way to protect our heritage and keep us here where all of our roots are.